to this episode.
Married
Up.
Married up.
Married up. We mentioned that we wanted to do a giveaway last time because to celebrate our anniversary, we wanted to do a giveaway because we were married 6 years. That the number doesn't have anything to do with the giveaway.
But it does have something to do with what
yes,
we're talking about.
Today we're going to talk about our 6 favorite things that we've learned, or 6 top things that we've learned from being married for 6 years. But first, we'll talk about the giveaway. So we want to give away 2 books. This is one of our favorite books that we've done together, 31 Creative Ways to Love and Encourage Him. And then there's a 31 Creative Ways to Love and Encourage Her for your spouse. It
was backwards when you did that.
It's just 2 books that give you a whole month of just being really intentional with your spouse, and we loved them when we've done it. And it's really cool because you can do it multiple times. You can go through the whole thing and then do it a few months later. You can do it, you and your spouse can do it together. You can do it on your own without your spouse even doing it. It's a really great book. So we want to be able to do a giveaway of those just to be able to invest into a marriage. And you will also get a date box. So if you don't know what date box is,
It's fun.
It's actually a subscription. You won't be subscribed though. You're just going to get one date box. And a date box is a box that comes in the mail, and it has everything you need for like an in-home date night. They get so creative with the different dates that they come up with, and so the date that will be in your date box is going to be a surprise. I don't know what it will be. It will just be whatever they have planned for this next date box. We will get that date box for you, and these books, we will get those for you, whoever wins. So you get 2 books and a date box, and so we are really excited to be able to do this giveaway. So yeah,
These books could be, or a date box could be used if you're dating, engaged, or married.
yes, so definitely enter. If you're in any type of relationship. The way that you enter is you can comment either on YouTube or on Facebook your favorite thing that you heard us say during this episode. That's it. That's all you have to do. For an extra entry, though, you can share this video on Facebook, and that will give you an extra entry to win this giveaway. And so we're really excited. Yep, that's it. So now we're going to talk about our 6 things that we've learned for 6 years. Go ahead.
Why don't you go first?
I'll start. Okay, so the top thing that I have learned in 6 years of marriage, we're going to make this episode kind of short. We don't want to really drag this out or anything. We just want to tell you our 6 straight things and give some stuff away. Anyway, actually, we want to continue to do giveaways. My goal is that eventually we'll be able to give away like couples massages. And then one day we're going to be able to give away like trips to Hawaii. So stick around because one day we'll be there. But right now we're doing books and a date box. And I'm excited. Anyway, here we go. First thing that I learned in 6 years of marriage is about finances. One of the main things, one of the main causes of divorce is money. And I think for us, once we like really and truly, I mean, when you stand on the promises that are given to you in the Bible about money, when you believe God's word, when he says that if you tithe, you will be provided for, and that he'll provide for you with his riches and glory, you can't really fight about money. And so we kind of learned that early on, and we genuinely don't fight about money. And we rarely, if ever, have. Just because we are in agreement with the fact that we're going to be provided for, and there's no reason to argue. I mean,
God's our provider.
Yeah.
Which you can fight about if you forget that, or if you let your mind slip from focusing more on natural circumstances of, just lack or pressure from certain bills, or just having to provide. And if you let yourself, just your sight get more focused on those circumstances than God being your provider, then it is easy to fight.
And we've had plenty of times where we could have gotten into huge fights about money, but we generally have always been able to rest on that. That's like one of the main promises that we've always stood on and been able to rest in, is that we're going to be provided for. And it has, I mean, we have been done over and over and over again. So
yeah.
That is the main thing I've learned in 6 years, is that God is a trustworthy God, and that you can trust him with finances, and that money doesn't have to ruin your marriage.
Yes.
What's
really
yours?
Good. The first one that I'm going to talk about is words. And I remember Allie and I actually, it was probably year 1, maybe year 2. And like I don't really know what had happened, but I was really kind of not watching my words towards her. So it'll really kind of be kind of just the sharp, I guess, condoning. I actually remember, I don't know if you remember this, but we were going to one of your brother's house. And it was really kind of like just like a breakdown, like, hey, of Allie just being frustrated with the way that I was speaking to her, which was really kind of just talking down and really not building up and influencing and encouraging her like I should. And I remember in that moment, like, oh wow, like my words are really powerful. So one of the things for me is just always watching my words, and just always speaking up, and just really always wrestling, if like, let's just say I'm frustrated or whatever the case might be, always making sure my words are uplifting, or if they're not uplifting, like holding on and like just making sure my words are uplifting, I guess you could say. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
bam.
Oh, you're done? Okay. My next main thing I've learned is how important love language is. If you don't know what love languages are, every person feels love and shows love in certain ways. And some, like, if you and your spouse have different love languages, the way that I show love is the way that I feel love. Unless I know that he feels love in a different way, or he receives love best in a different way, then I can purposely show love in that way. And so if you don't know anything about love languages, I challenge you to look into that. I challenge you to take the test to figure out what you and your spouse's love languages are, because love language is so important. Once you can learn how your spouse best feels loved, you can absolutely be more intentional in that way than in any other ways. And
serving them there. And there's actually a book. It's The 5 Love Languages by Gary Chapman. It's actually been around for a while, but it just kind of raises that, makes you aware of, like, you know what, this person receives love differently than you. And they have some amazing testimonies in there of just kind of, you know, he's actually a psychologist, I believe. Yeah. But just some awesome testimonies of breakthrough in marriages and things of that nature. So it's a really good book, The 5 Love Languages by Gary Chapman. Maybe we could give that away.
I was about to say, how perfect if we'd have given that away. But it is really something that you should look into, because knowing how your spouse receives love the best is obviously the best way to show them love. And so if I'm constantly doing acts of service for Patrick, thinking that that's how I receive love best, when he just wants me to sit down and spend some time with him, then I think I'm showing him love in the best way when he feels he's not receiving it that way. I don't know. You should read the book if you don't know what I'm talking about. But that is absolutely my second point, is that love languages are real and they matter, and they are really help you be intentional in your marriage.
Yeah. And my second thing is thoughts. Like, it's so easy, especially like when you're just in one of those moods to think negative thoughts and not to think highly, or not to think of just noble thing towards your spouse. So it's really, or let's just say, for example, let's say I'm doing the dishes, you know, and I'm like, oh, I have to come home from work and do these dishes, and what she's been doing, and really, like, just really being intentional with guarding my thoughts and not letting that thought stay so long. So literally, like, this is me just being vulnerable. But I'll literally, like, be doing dishes sometimes. These thoughts will try to come in my head, and it's just like it's not the right thoughts. So, like, love, according to 1 Corinthians 13, like believes the best about a person. So like anytime like I have that thought, like whether it takes me a long time, like just battling that thing, or just no, I'm gonna cut it off right there. Like it's just holding on and saying, no, these aren't the right thoughts. Something because one thing that I learned, like if you think something long enough, it becomes your belief, and if you believe it, then it's reproduced in your life, and it's going to come out in your words and things like that. So if I could stop just having negative thoughts about her when I'm in a mood, or really about anybody, and if I could stop it in my mind, just really take those thoughts captive, then I really save myself some I guess damage control, I guess you could say. And so it's really just guarding those thoughts, and it's not another thing about that is really holding on to the tension. So you might be battling a negative thought towards your spouse, or even towards yourself, and realizing that this isn't right. Like this isn't what God thinks about me. This isn't what God thinks about my spouse. This isn't who my spouse is. This isn't who I am, and really just pushing that thought away.
Or as you done?
Yeah.
Or even as girls, or I know for me personally, I'm sure no other girls do this, but just like when you the thoughts of, he did something that made you upset, and so then you're thinking about it all day long, and you're thinking about, you're making up arguments in your head that y'all will probably get into, and like you're just getting more and more upset and making yourself even more angry, ruining your own day with thoughts and arguments that never happened and things like that. I think that would fall under that category of things that you can take control over and that you can work on not allowing. And I've done that plenty of times.
And the enemy, and even with like people that's hurt you and wronged you and talk bad about you and gossip about you, the enemy wants you to step out of love, because when you step out of the love of God, like you step into unrest. So if you step into unrest, then you're not able to really hear from God and experience God the way that He wants you to experience Him. So He'll really, one of the things I learned, He'll really try to get you to build a case towards something that might not even be a thing, but you're making it a thing because you're building a case against that person or those people or that group. And so one of the things that I've really learned is just to believe the best. Like even if that person was talking to me, even if that person was directing that towards me, to really not take offense, just remain in the love of God, even though it may be harder in some cases than others, but really just to remain in that and say, know what, I'm gonna believe the best. And when that happens, you actually take authority over the enemy in that sense. Of because he wants to kill, steal, and destroy your life. So one of the ways that he steals and just really destroys the quality of your life is by getting you to build a case towards somebody that, it might not even be a thing, or even if it was a thing, it's just a tactic of the enemy to try to steal the quality of life that God has purchased for you. So I was like to read 4 things.
So my third one, we each did 3 and 3, so that's 6. So my third one is respect. Respect. I, over the past 6 years, have learned a lot about learning
respect.
Put some respect on
my name.
Over the last 6 years, I've learned a lot about how to respect Patrick, more than I ever saw, just in general, growing up, or just in life in general. I don't know, maybe movies, I don't know. I don't think I was really good at respect when we first got married, and I've just learned how important respect is for a man. Sex and respect is top for a man. But respect is so much more than just, I don't know. I guess my views of respect have changed over the past 6 years. Like, there's so much more to it. Like, if you're surrounding yourself with people that are okay talking down about their spouse, then they don't know anything about respect. You should never talk about your spouse when you have yet talked to your spouse. That's also a big part of respect. There's just a lot of things, and I never really was bad about that at the beginning. I've always believed that you should never talk about your spouse unless you've talked to your spouse. But just like small things that I have learned over the years weren't respectful, or I don't really know examples right now, but respect is definitely the one that I've learned
Respect.
most about. I've said the word respect 800 times so far, but
That's good.
I got my point across, I think.
Yeah. So.
Your last one.
I have one more.
Yeah.
Yes. Being intentional. So there are some Allie and I we talked about it in previous episodes of really like some kind of like non-negotiables, like going to bed mad is we're not going to do that. That's a non-negotiable no matter what we feel. That's a non-negotiable. Another thing, kind of like just being intentional with having like non-negotiables that no matter how I feel at the moment or what the case might be, what I'm always going to do. It's like it's a non-negotiable for me. What?
I said respect 100 times, and you said non-negotiable 100 times.
Okay. Anyway. Oh, so one of my non-negotiables is apologizing. And the Holy, really it's like being attentive to the Holy Spirit, because they say I apologize. I'm like, I didn't do anything wrong. It's like, apologize. I'm like, I'm sorry. Because like my feelings are like, I don't want to say it's still like in the heat of the moment, but like the Holy Spirit's telling me to apologize. So that's one of my real like non-negotiables, is just apologizing and just really clearing, even if I did do something or if I didn't do anything, like really apologizing like in that moment, and just, to me it's like kind of like pushing everything to her table.
Apologizing could have been its own
series.
7th thing that we learned, or at least me for sure, because I had to really learn about apologizing.
Yeah, you did.
I really did.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry that it took me.
And then another thing, non-negotiable for me, is praying before we go to bed. Every single night we'll pray, unless for some reason I was not in the room, and then I'll just pray by myself. But like, whether I ask her like, hey, do you want to pray tonight, or whatever the case might be, like that's like a non-negotiable for us. Like no matter what we feel, there's no going to sleep without praying. It's not like these super long prayers, but it's really just, God, we just thank you. Speak to us through our dreams. Thank you for protecting us as we sleep. Just really simple things like that, but really acknowledging Him at the end of our day together. And then for those times that we're not together, then
Which also helps with not going to bed angry, because if He's like, hey, you want to go ahead and pray for us? And I'm like, no.
Yeah, which I'm like, it's a non-negotiable, so then I'll start praying for us.
And I'm like, well, no, we can't. We're not going to bed yet.
Yeah, because sometimes I'll be like, whether we just talked about something a little heated, I'll be like, do you want to pray? She's like, no. I'm like, fine, and I'll pray. And like, it's pretty hard to like acknowledge God and be mad at the same time. And especially for me, like my internal thing is like, God, like I'm praying to you, but I'm like upset, but like you're so good. Just this whole like internal funny dialogue in my head that maybe I think is funny. I'm the only person who thinks, but
yeah, you got salty prayers like, pray for her attitude.
that's those prayers that God loves the most. And I'll pray, Lord, help her right now. It's not gossiping if they're right there. So
can you gossip to God?
I don't know. I think you could, but probably. Anyway. So we thought it would be an awesome idea to hear what you guys would like for us to talk about. So feel free to send us a comment or send us a message through the email, or post in a comment a topic that you would like for us to talk about.
Yeah, so just
or
like,
that you're curious
if
about.
you've got something that you're like, oh, I just wish they would do an episode on blank, just send it to us, let us know, and we'll see about it. So we thought that would be a cool idea.
Yep.
So, yep. Anyway, we are done. That's our 6 things that we've learned in 6 years. Happy anniversary to us, Knuckles. And we hope you guys all enter our giveaway. We are super excited for this to be our first giveaway, and I can't wait to do 100 more giveaways because I love to give stuff away a lot, and it makes my heart really happy. So,
also,
enter.
thank you for our sponsors.
Yes, we had some people who helped sponsor this giveaway, and so we want to say thank you to you guys. Y'all are fantastic. And if you guys want to sponsor a trip to Hawaii, y'all just send us the money and we will give it away to a couple.
Can you sponsor me a trip to Hawaii?
Oh, the winners are Allie and Patrick.
Oh my gosh, I'm so flattered. We're going to Hawaii.
So, comment your favorite thing that you heard us say. And that's it. That's what I have you to enter. Share it if you want an extra entry. Thanks for listening.
It's like watching the night sky or a beautiful sun.